In this video I will make this photo album effect from a photo taken from a basic settings. Now with your own images you can make your own storyline. There are many examples of open books as templates on the internet, but by setting up your own photograph you can create many scenarios like this one here. And you can create your own storyline in it, like an adventure somewhere. So I'll open the GIMP and start our tutorial. We have our photo of an open book in GIMP. The first thing you need to do is right click the image over in the layers channel and add an alpha channel. The next step is make a new layer, a transparency. Now we go over to our path tool, click in there, just click in once and over on the other side of the book, and now choose the area where the book is bent at the top on the open page and just bend it up, and the other one there you just pull it down a fraction. Now we move down to the bottom one and try and keep the alignment. Click in once there and over on the other side just push that one up and this one down a little. Now if you want to move the path, you can just click on it and just drag it around anywhere you like. Now go over to edit and we stroke that path with 6 pixels. This is because the image is quite large. We click on stroke. That strokes it as the foreground. We select our pencil tool and we select a large brush. Now we need to drop that brush size down to the pixels we made the path stroke with. We should move that down to 6 pixels. Click in there right on the spot. If you leave an opening it will bleed into the other area later on. We click it there, let the mouse button go, hold down the shift key and drag it down to meet the other end, and then click once, move over to the other side, click once, move it down, and once again click your mouse button. Now you notice there, I'll just use the magnifying glass, I've left an opening accidentally. So just go back to your pencil tool and then close that off, otherwise it will bleed when you do the other work later on. Now I'll just check the other areas, come down the other end of the book, that's okay, that page is alright, and that one's okay. Now I'll reduce that size and then bring it back to what it was by using that icon up there. Now you notice there it's I went over the edge with my path tool. You could use the eraser because we're working on the top layer, which is a transparency. We just remove that there, just paint over the top of it or erase it. Now we go back to our path tool and do the other page, the same thing. Click on there and over the other side, push it up to meet the bend in the open book, and also the little drop down piece, and you can move it up. So we go down to the bottom one and do the same thing. Try and keep your alignment and just move that one up and pull that one down. Go over to edit and stroke path with 6 pixels, foreground color, click stroke. Now we go into our pencil tool, click in there once, right on the button, hold the shift key down, let the mouse button go and drag it right down and join up with the other one. Go over the other side and do the same thing. Now make sure that they're all closed. Now that one there has just got a little missed a little, so we just clean it up with the eraser. We're still playing with the top layer. Now I go to my fuzzy select tool and click inside that area and it selects it. Now if there was an opening there where I was before, it would bleed out and select the whole lot. Now I click this icon here, add to the current selection, move over to the other side and click in there. Now I activate my image on the layers channel, hit the delete key, and that removes the selection. We go to the top layer and merge down. Now we go and select our image. We go into File, Open as a layer. We click on the image we require, click on Open. Once again, the image is far too large. We go and turn off that selection. We go to Select and select None. We turn that selection off. Now I need to resize that image to fit that cutout on the page. So we're going to Resize. Go down here and click on this little button here and keep the aspect ratio. Otherwise you will lose the distortion, you'll distort your image. We click on there and just drag it down to a reasonable size there and click Scale. Now we go to our Move tool, click the radio button, move the active layer and move it up to the page. Now it's far too small for the image and we just go and resize it. The best thing to do is to drop the opacity so you can see what's happening. And then click on Scale once again. Just watch it and you can see that now through the opacity of your layer you can move the image into the area which will fit. That one should do alright. Now I move that image below, bring it up to full opacity, click on the top layer, right click and merge down. Now that's blended the image into the page. You don't need to use the perspective tool to make it appear that it's on a folding page, otherwise you will distort the image and spoil the effect. We go back and we load another image as a layer. Now we move this one with the Move tool over the book. We drop our opacity once again so we can see what's happening. Now we need to do the resize. Click on the resize button. Everything's checked okay. We're just going to keep our aspect ratio and just move it down to fit that page. Get the Move tool and move it up there and just check that your images don't get too much cropped off. Now we need to rescale that once again because you're cropping too much of your image. So bring it down, scale, go to the Move tool and move it into the area. Now we're going to have to use the perspective tool on this one. We take it up to full opacity. We go to the perspective tool, click in there and just drag that part there. It's alright on this image because there's multiple images on that little area. But just click in Transform. Now that fits that okay. Now you notice up there we have missed a little because we can't make that. We just turn the opacity down and see how it's fitting the frame. Oh, yeah, we could move it over just a fraction. We're just moving a couple of images there. Okay, we turn it up to 100%. Move the image below, right click the top layer and merge down. Now this little piece in here, we choose the eyedropper tool and we click on the page which gives us the colour we want. That's it there. I swing that button around because it will be our background colour. Now we right click the top layer and flatten the image. That will put that background layer into the image. There we go. So there we are. We have our image, and you just put in any text you want now. We go to our text tool, we choose a font that we like. This one's okay. It'll be very, very small. We need to push it right up. Now we increase the size to fit the whole page. We go to the move tool because it's on a separate layer. We can just push it up so it fits the image. Right click the top layer and merge down. And there's our open book photo album, and you can use that in a scrapbook format or an introduction to a video screen. Rate the video, and you'll find a link below on full instructions on how to do this on the website listed below.